we're going to deal with the law of sines for this stuff. Now, the law of sines in a triangle, or for a triangle, is done by this ratio here. You take the sine of big A over little a would be equal to the sine of big B over little b, and you take the sine of C over little c. Now, do you use all three pieces at the same time? No. All you're going to be doing is setting up ratios. Proportions. How do you solve proportions? How do you solve if you have two things equal to each other and you have one missing thing? Cross multiply, then divide. That's it. That's how we're doing this today. So, on this particular thing, just so you know what the triangle might look like, is if I just label all these different pieces, let's say this is B, this is A, and this is C, then this is little c, this is little b, and this is little a. Okay? The side is always across from the angle that you have. So when if we're A, or big A for the angle, then that means that we're across from its little a. If we're big B here, then little b. Big C, little c, and vice versa. Okay? And what they're going to do on this stuff is they're going to give you different pieces and they're going to ask you to find the missing ones. It's a whole lot of cross multiplying and dividing. That's what it is. Okay? So if you look at, and the first thing that they're going to have you doing, I don't even have you do. The first thing that they have you doing is they say, come up with which case it is, and then tell me how many triangles you can make. No. I'm just going to give you the pictures, and we're going to find the missing pieces. So, if I give you a triangle that looks like this, where this is A, this is B, that's C, where this is 85, that's 47, and this is 19, it will say solve triangle ABC. That's what it'll say. That means when it says solve triangle ABC, I want to know how big A is, big B, big C. Little a, little b, little c. How many different answers should you have? 6. There's 6 pieces in a triangle. You should have all 6. But it's going to give you 3 of them to start with. So you just have to find the other 3. So, angle A, angle B, angle C. I have angle B already as 85. I have angle C already as 47. I also have little a to be 19, because that's the one across from the big A. Which one do you want to find first? Huh? Big A. Why, Denise? I have 2 out of the 3 angles. Right. Denise, can you refresh our memories? How many degrees is in a triangle? 180. Exactly. So if you've got 180 degrees total, and I already gave you 85 and 47, what's missing? 48? Now, for this particular triangle, do the right triangle things work? No. Why not? It's not a right triangle. Absolutely. So that's why the law of sines comes into play. It's not a right triangle, so I have to use it now. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. Out of the A's, the B's, and the C's, which one has both pieces, the angle and the side? A. So I'm going to set this up this way. The sine of big A, which is 48, over 19, equals... Hannah, which one do you want to find first? Little b or little c? Little b. What angle is big B? It's 85. So the sine of 85 equals, I don't know. And now, I think you guys are all very competent in solving this now, but how do I do it? Okay, we can use a calculator, but we're going to cross multiply as the technique, right? So if I cross multiply, that says b times the sine of 48 equals 19 times the sine of 85. Then how would you solve for little b? Divide by the sine of 48. Now here's where, like what Hannah said, calculator comes into play. What is 19 times the sine of 85, and then that number divided by the sine of 48? $25.47, so 25.5, if I go one decimal place. Right, okay. 25.5. Awesome. Now, Denise got that. Did anybody else get that? Okay, a couple of you did, just so that I know that Denise did it right. Strength in numbers. So let's go with letter C now. If I'm going to do letter C, I'm going to use the same ratio that I started with. So the sine of 48 over 19. Why am I going to use the A again? Because A was the one that was known. Denise's answer that she gave us for B is not wrong, but Denise, that was a rounded answer, was it not? I don't want to use the rounded one if I can help it. Okay? If I can help it, because the more accurate you are going to be, the better off you're going to be. Then it's going to be equal to the sine of 47 over I don't know. After I've cross multiplied and divided, just like the first ones, what do I get for a little c? I'm going to guess it's 18 point something. Does that sound right? 18.7? Does anybody know why I knew it was about 18 point something? Anybody have any idea why? Look at the angles. You have a 48 and a 47. 47 should be the smallest side then, right? Because that's the smallest angle. And 48 and 47 are awfully close to each other. So I knew that because 47 was a little less than 48, then my side should be a little less than 19. No. Oh, 0.7? I thought you said 19. Sorry. I heard 18.7 and I heard 18.07. 0.7? Okay, Denise will look at that and see what happened. What do you guys think? This is the bulk of it today, just so that you know. This is how the majority of the assignment's going to look. Sometimes they will have a picture, sometimes they won't. Okay? If they don't have a picture, not a big deal. You can make one if you'd like, or not. I don't care. Okay? So if they give you that big A is 73, big B is I don't know, big C is I don't know, little a is 18, little b is 11, little c is I don't know. Which ratio are we for sure going to use? Which letters? The A's, right? Why? Because you got both of them, right? So I've got the sine of 73 over 18 equals, now, if I were you, I would get the angles done first. And obviously I can't touch the C's, can I? Why can't I do the C at all? I don't have any of it. I don't have a starting thing for anything for C. So, I got to be B. So that means I got the sine of big B, because I don't know how big the angle is, but I know that the side is 11. When I cross multiply with this, I've got 18 times the sine of B equals 11 times the sine of 73. If I divide... What part of cross multiplying are you confused by? What part? No, Markel. You said you're confused. What part are you confused with? Where? On which one? Okay, then you and I, are you okay with this one right now?
Yeah, just the one.
Okay. Now, if I'm going to solve for b, which is right here, I got to divide by 18 to both sides. So I end up with the sine of b equals 11 sine of 73 over 18. Yesterday, I had you guys finding angles. How did you find the angle? What buttons did you have to push? Jackie, what button did you have to push? Second, and then that sine, cosine, or tangent, right? Which one are we going to use for this one? Sine. Because what are we referring to? The law of sines. So you're always using sine. You won't use any of the other pieces today. Okay? So when you want the angle, you have to do the inverse sign like we did yesterday. So here's what I need to type. Second sine, and that should be the sine of negative 1. And then in parentheses, I'm going to go 11, maybe even a double shot there probably, times the sine of 73. That'll have a thing there. Close it, close it. Divided by 18, close it. And what do I get? 35.8. Now, I know Taryn was a rounded answer, but it's the other angle, isn't it? If I've got 73 for one angle and now I've got 35.8 for the second angle, how do you find the third? Add them and subtract it from 180. And how big is angle C? Say it again. 71.2 degrees. Now that I have an angle for C, can I find little c? So I'm going to go sine of 73 over 18, because that was the A, sine of 71.2 over little c. If I cross multiply, c times the sine of 73 equals 18 times the sine of 71.2. Divide everything by the sine of 73. And what do I get for little c? I'm going to guess it's a little less than 18. 17.8?
So we do 18 sine 71.2 divided by 73, or sine of 73.
Yep. That's exactly how you type it in if you had a calculator. Even if I have one like this, Markel. How I type it is I would type 18 times 71.2 sine is that, divided by 73 sine is that. 17.8. Or on your color screen. Would you like me to do another one? I can. It's cross multiplying. If you need to find the angle, that's where you use the inverse sign like we did yesterday. Okay? Then the last thing that I'm going to give you that you're going to have to use is you've got some areas of triangles. The area formulas for triangles. It's not the 1/2 BH like you guys have had before. Okay? On this particular thing, it's going to be 1/2 little b times little c times the sine of a. If you don't have those pieces, maybe you have little a and little c, which would mean then you'd have big B. If you don't have those pieces, then you're going to have, what's the other combination we don't have? A and B times the sine of c. What they're going to do is they're going to give you those pieces. You need to plug it in and see what you get. Sound fair enough? That's what's going to happen. They're going to give you pieces of the triangle, and it's going to say find the area. So here's what it'll look like. It'll say big B is equal to 124 degrees. Little a equals 9, and little c equals 11. So out of the scenarios that I have drawn up there, the three different formulas, which one are we going to use? This one, right, Caleb? The one that's in the middle. Why did you pick that one, Caleb? Yeah, it has the angle and the two sides that are needed. It's one of those three scenarios. It will always be one of those three. You just need to plug it in the right formula. So how do I plug this in? 1/2 little a times little c times the sine of big B. Enter. Now, something that I do with my calculator, if I'm going to do it, I'll take 9 times 11 times the sine of 124, and then I'll divide it by 2. Because that's the same as timesing it by 1/2. Or if you want to write 0.5 times 9 times 11 times the sine of 124, your choice. I don't care. What do you get? How big is the triangle? 41.04. And then if it was measured in like feet, for instance, that would have been feet squared. Okay? If there is no unit of measurement, no need to write one. Some people in your past have said make sure you put units squared. If it doesn't have a unit, I'm not interested in it. Okay? But if it were to say meters or whatever, then you put meter squared. By the way, that's what the M would stand for if it were to say M afterwards. You're not solving for M, that's meters. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Can't wait till 6th hour. Okay? Do you want me to do another one of those? That's the last half of your assignment. They're going to give you the three pieces. You've got to plug it into the proper formula and see what you get. The reason why the 1/2 BC doesn't work for this is because of the fact that it wouldn't give you those pieces. So that's why you use the sine part of it to get it. Okay? So, that being said, since none of you guys had any more questions, starts on 886 to 887, and it is 12 to 36 evens.